at the abbreviation that we use for today, you'll recognize the fact that I say CIPC, as most of us accountants and auditors do. I know a lot of people go CIPC, so it doesn't matter what you call it. It stands for Companies Intellectual Property Commission, right? So very important on the slides that you've got. On the agenda that we'll be dealing with, we'll be starting with an introduction to CIPC, just very brief, one slide. We'll be looking at an overview of BizPortal, including what it is, what you should know before you start using BizPortal, and which services are available, and how do the fee payments work. So the basics around that, all right? Then we're going to look at some navigational functionalities around BizPortal, what it looks like. I mean, it's very easy. You read the screen, you see where you want to go, and you click. Right. So there's a services tab. We'll be looking at the services quickly that's available, Biz Profile, and then the enterprise details. But the most valuable information that you can find today will be in the answers or valuable info from the 10 main query areas that has been received by CIPC. Right. So in terms of that, we'll be looking at it's all summarized for you on 10 slides, with, as a result of questions people asked about, how do I reset my password? So that was a main query area, and there's a slide on exactly how that gets done. So that's also done. All right. In closing, I'll just do my little in closing, and then the way forward we will do at the end of the webinar. I see we've already got some questions, so I'd better start copying and pasting. So let's quickly start. I'm going to say a warm welcome to my main guest presenter for today, Ms. Shanee Kelly. So enjoy the presentation. I'm going to hand over to you. Thank you, Shanee. And I'm muting myself. Shanee, we can't hear you. Shani, maybe just mute yourself and unmute yourself again to see if we can maybe get you audible for us. Okay, Shani, just unmute yourself again and let's see. Guys, don't worry if you don't have sound. We'll get this sorted out right now. Jeremiah, won't you please see if you can unmute Shani from your side? Apologies for the technical gremlins, guys. This is what happens with a live webinar. Right, Shani, there we go. Can we hear you? Shani, I can hear you now.
Okay, great.
Wonderful.
Is that
Thank you.
better? Okay,
We hear you perfectly.
awesome. Okay, this is me. I work for CIPC. My name is Shanee Kelly, and I'm an educational specialist at the Corporate Education and Compliance Unit. I'm going to just give you a brief summary of an introduction to CIPC. CIPC stands for Companies and Intellectual Properties Commission. Now, CIPC is divided into two sections: business registration and compliance and corporate regulations, as well as intellectual property. Under our business registration, we have companies, cooperatives, and CCs that are closed corporations. Under our intellectual property division, we have patents, designs, trademarks, and copyrights. CIPC was brought into existence by the Companies Act of 2008 in terms of Section 185, subsection 1 of the Companies Act. The Commission is established as a juristic person to function as an organ of state within the public administration, but as an institute outside the public service. CIPC's objectives are as the following: registration of companies, cooperatives, and intellectual properties rights and the maintenance thereof, disclosure of information on its registers, and enforcement of the relevant legislations, promotion of education and awareness of company and intellectual property law, licensing of business rescue practitioners, the monitoring, compliance with and/or contravention of the financial reporting standards and making recommendations thereto, as well as the report, research, and advice to the minister on matters of national policies relating to companies and intellectual property law. Okay. My next slide, today I'm going to focus on the BizPortal platform. We're going to look at the overview of BizPortal. What is the BizPortal platform? What should you know before using BizPortal? What services are available? And how does the fee payment work? A little navigation of the BizPortal platform will be done with focusing on the BizPortal service page, the Biz profile, and an enterprise details. Okay, now let's talk about the overview of BizPortal services. What is BizPortal? You will see there in blue is the BizPortal website address. That's on your left-hand side, upper left-hand side. CIPC developed this platform to offer company registration and, and related service in a quick and easy way. It is paperless, which means no forms and no documents needs to be submitted. It is a one-stop shop. All the services can be completed within 24 hours, provided that the fee payments are received on time. We require the member's ID documents details and the director's ID and marriage certificate details. What should you know before you start using this portal? You will use your ID number as your username to log in. If you already have a CIPC customer code, your registration details and password will allow you to log in on BizPortal. If you do not have a CIPC customer code yet, you will have to complete the user registration process on the BizPortal platform. The system will allocate you a customer code which you which should be kept for when you want to access services that are not available on BizPortal and for which can be used on some of CIPC's other platforms. Example, your e-services or your new e-services. Only South African nationals may register to access the BizPortal services for now. For director verification, you will need all the director's ID documents or ID card details, the marriage certificate details, and their spouse's ID number. A private company must have at least one director, and a non-profit company a minimum of three directors. Which services are available? The Biz Profile platform is also used as a search tool for all CIPC registered entities. One can do up to 100 free searches per day. Name reservations can be done for a fee of 50 Rand. Company registration for both private and non-profit companies, company name change, company OCC's address change, and annual return filings. Other services which are available on BizPortal platform are SARS services. Register with SARS to obtain a tax number as well as UIF and compensation fund. Your triple BBEE certificate, you can obtain it if your turnover is less than 10 million. The domain name registration. This is .co.za website address. ZNA services, that's the domain name authority. Payments can be made to them only by debit and credit card. ZNA is a statutory regulator and manager of the .za website address. .za is the South African Internet Country Code, top level domain. .za is an agency of South African government under the Department of Telecommunication and Postal Services. You can also open a business bank account with the following banks: Absa, FNB, Mercantile Bank or Capitec, Nedbank, Sasfin Bank, or Standard Bank. Google Business Services. These services can be used to assist you in making your business more visible on the Google platform. Okay, how does the fee payment work? Fee payments can be done with a customer code or the declining balance payment method. The preferred payment method is online through the card facility option. As CIPC will be phasing out the customer code declining balance payment method in a few months, our preferred payment option is your card facility. For the time being, if you are using the customer code declining balance payment method, note the following. The funds must reflect against the customer code within 24 hours from the time of submitting the application. Otherwise, your application will be rejected. Payments must be made with Absa at an ATM or branch or with Absa online banking system. Payment reference is always your 6-character customer code. Payments made with Absa are automatically allocated to your account within 30 minutes. Now, the customer code declining payment method. Payments from other banks may not reach CIPC timeously as some banks append additional characters to references, which make the references invalid on CIPC side. Invalid references cannot be allocated automatically to your customer code. Banks that do not append extra characters, their payment can take up to 48 hours to reach the CIPC APSA account. By that time, the transaction will already be rejected. If the payment was not done correctly and the funds were not correctly allocated to your account at CIPC, you will have to apply for allocations of funds. This will be explained later in my presentation. Now I'm going to go through the navigation of BizPortal. Okay. This is a screenshot of the BizPortal services on its website page. Please note all the various services offered by BizPortal. I'm not going to read it out because you can see all the service icons. Okay. Now, this is a screenshot of the Biz profile. This is the search entity which I had discussed earlier in the presentation. You will see that you can search, you have a limit of 100 searches per day, which is on the block on your left-hand side. And on your right-hand side, you can search via the customer, the enterprise name, the enterprise number, or even the director's ID number. Okay, on this screenshot, you will find the enterprise details. Now, the various folders at the bottom will show you will be expanded, can be expanded, and you will be able to see all the information of the enterprise that we have on our system. On this slide, you will see an example of all the enterprise details. Okay, the addresses, the enterprise type, the postal and physical address. Okay. Now I'm going to present on the 10 main query areas which are received by the CIPC call center. Remember, Lettie has said this is very valuable information. Now, my 10 main query areas received. Requirements, valuable information arising from the main queries received by the call center have been summarized on the following slides under these headings. I have 10 slides with 10 main queries, which are the customer code, the password reset, that is when your cell number and email has changed, allocation of funds, refund procedure, the retrieval of certificates and disclosure of information, BizPortal, name reservation, company registration fees, sole proprietorship, partnerships, trusts, NGOs and associations, and lastly, the B-BBEE certificate. Okay. Number one, the customer code. Each CIPC customer is allocated a CIPC customer code. The customer code is linked to each person's ID number. A customer code is used to log into all CIPC's e-services. On the BizPortal platform, the ID number is used to log in, not a passport number. However, the same password is used for BizPortal, e-services, and for the new e-services platform. How to find your customer code if you forgot it. Go to BizPortal. Remember earlier I told you with your search entity, you will see a block at the bottom. Use your search as entity, and when you do your search via the three options, you will get your customer code. Okay. My next slide, password reset. Password reset. In order to reset a CIPC password electronically, the phone number or email address on the customer code profile must be valid. To reset the password, go to www.bizportal.gov.za and click on Log In and then on Reset Password. Type your ID number and click on Continue. The OTP will be sent to both your email and cell number. Provide the OTP to reset your password. Okay, password reset when your cell number and email has changed. If your cell phone number and email address are outdated or you struggle to log in to the CIPC system, you will first have to follow these steps before you can reset your password. Visit the inquiry page on the CIPC website. The inquiry icon is website address is written on my right side. Choose the menu button Password Reset. It is not necessary to log in with your customer code and password to do this option. Complete the required fields and attach a certified ID copy. Certification must not be older than 3 months. Our office will update your contact details, and after which you can reset your password via BizPortal. Number 3, allocation of funds. The bank deposit reference must be the customer code only, not your name, not your ID number, not any other information except your 6-character password. 6-character customer code. Make sure the correct letters and numbers are reflected when you type or write your customer code. If you type a 0 instead of a O, or a L, a small L, or even a capital I instead of a 1, the code will be incorrect and the money that was deposited will not be reflected on your customer code. If the customer code was typed or written incorrectly, you will have to request the CIPC's finance unit to allocate the deposit to your customer code. To do this, log on to inquiries on the CIPC website, choose the category finance and subcategory allocation of funds. Submit your request together with the following documentation: certified ID copy of the owner of the customer code. Remember, once again, certification must not be older than 3 months. Add your proof of payment, your deposit slip. Keep the ticket number generated by the system until your query has been resolved. Allocation of funds will be processed within 10 working days upon receipt of request, provided all the required documentation is submitted. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the refund procedure. If a customer paid money into the CIPC account and needs it to be refunded, the following is required. To do this, log an inquiry on the CIPC website. Choose the category finance and subcategory refunds. Submit your request together with the following documentation: certified ID copy of the owner of the customer code, proof of payment, that's your deposit slip, bank details on the bank's letterhead with a bank stamp, a letter signed by the account holder indicating the reason for the refund, the amount, and customer code. Keep the ticket number the system generates until your inquiry has been resolved. Refunds will be processed within 10 working days upon receipt of a request for refund, provided all your documentation has been submitted. Now, the retrieval of certificates and disclosure of information. To retrieve a registration certificate, in to e-services. That's the the website address. Select certificates and disclosure, and then select incorporation MOI documents. Now type in your registration number and generate a certificate. A third party must have 30 rands available on their customer code for company certificates to be printed out. Hybrid applications. You can also go to resend company documents or resend all and select the relevant tracking number. Directors can retrieve the documents on either BizPortal or e-services free of charge. To retrieve from BizPortal, log in and then choose Services, Company Registration Certificates. All the documents will be available. Certificates, your core 14.3 and your MOI documents. Okay, now this is an image of the e-services certificates and disclosure screens. You will see over there, you get your free disclosure, your official disclosure, and your incorporation documents, your MOI. You will see all the other options and certificates that you have available on this platform. Now, BizPortal. It is compulsory that every member must have their own email address and cell phone number. And please do not use the company's general information one. Use your own personal email and cell phone number. Free payments can be done with debit and credit cards, thereby eliminating the misallocation of funds as sometimes experienced with the depository customer code payment method. For name reservation, the fee of 50 Rand, which must be paid on the day of lodgement. Otherwise, the application will lapse. Fee payments can also be done via the customer code. That's if you have funds in your customer code. Name reservation. Name reservation is not compulsory for company registration. 4 names per application in order of priority. The fee is 50 Rand, and it's important to note that name reservation filing fee is not refundable. Private companies, that is your PTY Ltd, do not need to include this in their name reservation application. This means if you do your name reservation, just add the name of the company you prefer. You do not need to add PTY Ltd. Now, name reservations can be done before applying for a company registration or during the application process. If not reserved beforehand and the name chosen during the process is not available, the company registration number will be used as the name of the company. A name change can be done at a later stage by applying to change the name and amend the Memorandum of Incorporation. That's the MOI. Name change from an enterprise number to a name is free of charge. See, we have a lot of free things on CIPC as well. Company registration fees. A private company, which is a PTY Ltd, can be done on the BizPortal platform. This costs 175 Rand. This includes the name reservation fee of 50 Rand. Non-profit companies, that's the NPC, without members and with a standard MOI on the BizPortal platform, this also costs 175 Rand, and it also includes your 50 Rand name reservation fee. Now, sole proprietorship, partnerships, trust, NPOs, and associations. Okay. CIPC only caters for business registered within CIPC. So all business that are registered by CIPC are your companies, your CCs, your NPOs, and cooperatives. Business that are not registered with CIPC are your sole proprietorship, your partnerships, your trusts, your NGOs, and associations. For information on NGOs, non-government organization, non-profit government organization, please inquire from the Department of Social Development. Okay, so CIPCs only does NPCs and not NGOs. Your triple BEE certificate. Exempted micro enterprises, private companies and CCs with a turnover of less than 10 million can apply for a triple BEE certificate free of charge. A certificate is valid for 1 year. Once expired, a new application must be filed. Only directors or members of the entity may apply for a triple BEE certificate with BizPortal. Intermediaries or third parties are not allowed to apply. Applying on behalf of someone is a criminal offense. Providing incorrect shareholder information is also a criminal offense. Please read the instructions carefully, as an application cannot be amended once submitted. Changes can only be recorded when the current certificate expires and a new application is done. Entities with one or more foreign directors or members do not qualify for a CIPC BBBEE certificate. Directors and members' contact details must be updated, as a one-time PIN will be sent to each director or member before an application can be concluded. To update details of a director or member, use the CIPC e-services functionality. Now, remember, this is important because if someone else is using your company or using your ID number, you will not know. So make sure your details are correct and updated on our system. So when you receive an OTP PIN and you do not use the services, you can report it. Directors with more than 10 entities linked to their ID numbers will not be able to apply for a CIPC BBBEE certificate. Okay. Now, now the contact details. Social media users may follow the BizPortal Facebook and the CIPC Facebook pages. Questions may be asked on Facebook Messenger. Please type your questions on the Facebook Messenger inbox and not under the comments, because information typed under comments can be viewed by everyone. Sometimes users share their ID numbers and customers log in details on these comment sections, and they will be accessible to other users. Our CIPC contact details, our website, which is www.cipc.co.za. Our inquiry address is next to that. We are accessible through Twitter at the CIPC, on Facebook, the CIPC. Use messengers to send questions, please remember, and our call center telephone number 086 100 24 72. Okay, that brings me to the end of my presentation. I'm handing you over to Lettie.
Right, Shani, thank you very much for your presentation. I know that you guys have been experiencing some sound problems. I don't know if all of you were on Google Chrome from the start. When you received your link, you must you read that it's better to have going through league to Google Chrome. At least you haven't missed anything. Remember that this webinar will be recorded, and if you are still not hearing anything, but I don't understand how you hear me and you don't hear Shani. So bear in mind that the webinar is recorded, and a lot of the answers, I've been monitoring some of the questions that have come through, and a lot of the answers have already been summarized on these 10 pages for you. So I think we were a bit straight off the bat. I think you guys were just wanting to ask those questions. Don't fret because all those questions will be answered. Remember, even if we don't finish by 11 today, I'm going to take all of your questions, I promise you, those ones that we receive on the Facebook link on the YouTube live stream as well. Okay, so I'm going to be taking all of that, putting it onto a question and answer summary. Leslie has already been answering some questions. Thank you, Leslie, for doing that online. And we will go through this document and send that on to everybody. All right. So please don't worry about it if you don't have that now. Okay. So I just want to do the quick closing on the BizPortal side. Remember that it's a platform. All right. It's a platform. Um, BizPortal is paperless. It's easy to use. It really, really is very easy to use. The questions that you've got sometimes, I always say to my son, he's doing application technology at school. And I say to him, you know what, if you don't know where you are on the screen, what you want to do, read your screen. And if you battle, take your mouse and hover over a picture or whatever, and a tooltip will come up to say what that is. So we really have to go back to basics on computers and really start to read our screens again. Okay. When you decide you want to use BizPortal in future, maybe you haven't used it enough. Remember that most services are completed in 24 hours if the payments are completed on time. So that to me is a very very big one. Just a question I'm just picking up now quickly from Johanna. Does it mean in future you must submit your annual returns to BizPortal? Doesn't mean that you must. It means that you can. All right. I think it's very important that you know that this is another avenue that is available. Keep the questions coming through. I see them coming through. I want to quickly show you guys my source document. So if you will bear with me for 2 seconds, I would like to quickly share my screen with you. It's going to come up in a second. Please be patient. See, the weather outside is not the only thing that's frozen. Right. And voila, everyone can see my screen, yes? Okay, so let's move on. This is a document that I took from BizPortal, right? Because I know that there are a lot of lazy people out there, me being one of them. And if I have a document like this, why would I want to go and do all the reading, clicking, clicking, clicking? So this I took straight off the website. Okay, I copied and pasted, and the links will work in this document, who they are, the registration process, so that you can see what you can do on there, what the start is with the registration process, what you do. Okay, the services, the links, these little short and sweet little blurbs on each and every service there, some notes, the partners that are there, business support, all the rest, all the pictures. I did absolutely everything. And at the bottom, with the frequently asked questions, you'll see that the UIF frequently asked questions on here is quite extensive. All right, so please go through this. There's a lot, and I created this document for your benefit. It's only 6 pages. This will already it's already loaded up to your profiles. Okay, so you will be able to access this at the end, and we can also upload it onto the public side. All right, so that will be available for you. While I'm still in screen sharing mode, I want to just quickly show you what this document is going to look like at the end. This is the document that we'll be going through shortly, all right, with all the questions and answers. And I've used your names because you guys have, in terms of Popia, we have to ask, and you guys have all consented to being recorded, which means that I use your names in here as well, which means it makes it easier for you to find your question that you asked. Right. So this document, once we've got all the answers filled in, we will then be sending you this document. All right. So it's going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be a bit of a monster of a document. But so this is your BizPortal info with links to the document that I showed to you that is available. All right. That is available to you. So we know that you still want more. I know that you have questions that were not answered, and if you you'll understand that we can't possibly answer all 900 people within a couple of hours within 1 hour. So we know that you want more. So what I want to do quickly, I want to see what we're going to do with this in future. We were planning to have monthly sessions. I'm thinking that quarterly sessions might be better, or at a stretch we can do a bi-monthly. We can do a quarterly with a Q&A session in between. All right. And we can try and swing that. So, but we need to know what you need more information on. So I would like to quickly run some polls with you. You can also let us know via email. I'll give you the email address in a minute. Let me quickly run some polls with you. All right. So my first poll, and it's open for you now, is on the future topics. It says there, which of the future following topics would you like to hear more about in the nearby future? And you can tick as many as you want. All right. And this will depend on what our next webinar will be on. All right. And that will then be a dedicated webinar just on deregistrations. I can see immediately deregistrations, company registrations, annual return filing. I'm so glad to see that my feeling was right about the top ones. SaaS services on BizPortal, yes. If you have any other ones, feel free to send them through in the chat box. Even now, you can do that. Yes, we will be showing you the annual return via BizPortal on a separate webinar because annual returns is definitely going to be up. I can see as you're busy um, voting. We're only up to about 39% of the people on click meeting. So please, guys, if I can ask you to quickly vote so we can move on and get to the questions. But I think it gives us a good idea for the next at least 4 webinars now. So let's end the voting and share the results with you. Right, you can see the results there. Those are the main ones. Okay. So I think our first one's definitely going to be on deregistrations, followed by annual return filing, then company registrations, then the SaaS services on BizPortal. Right. So we will do that. Okay. Let's look at the next one. And I'm clicking where it's freezing. Next one is a simple yes or no, and I'd like you to vote here. Would you like to have a frequently asked questions session with reference made to the frequently asked questions that are made available to you? I know that what I've done is I've gone onto the CIPC website. You have no idea how many resources are on there. I spent a long time on the CIPC website, and I took all the frequently asked questions from there together with links to guides that are available and all sorts of things so that we can have a practical, I don't know if we call it a practical tool session or whatever, but I'm thinking that the FAQ sessions, we can learn a lot from each other. And we will then also make sure that if we don't get a CIPC representative to attend that specific one, that we do get their input, right? Because we do get the information back to you. Okay, I'm going to end the voting. And as you can clearly see, we've got a 60% huge amount in terms of the yeses and the nos. Right. So that's the thank you for the polls. If you have any other questions or any other topics that you would like us to know, either in general or in detail, I've tried to like keep the, how do you call it, the main attractions that I know from practitioners that we normally battle with. So that's what I've tried to do with that. We will get to the questions in a bit, but here are your email addresses in the meantime. If you have any technical questions, you can email them to technicalquestions@accountingacademy.co.za. I will ask you to please mark it and put their CIPC, all right? Put their Lettie CIPC so that they know that they need to send it on to me so that I can make sure that I get to it and circulate it to the correct people. Also, if you have any general comments on today's webinar, please make sure that you send those to info@accountingacademy.co.za. Right. But what I would like to get to now, first of all, would be the questions. All right. So let's quickly go through some of our questions. I know that obviously I haven't managed to get all of them. All right. But the document there that I would like to show you, and I think we can move on to, let me do the screen sharing here. And I'm someone going to, Leslie, feel free to chip in at any point in time. Right. Well, now I've lost it again. Sorry, guys. Can you see my screen? Let me just ask that. Nope, again, not because I'm clicking elsewhere. Can you see my screen? Yes. Great stuff. Okay. So let's look at it. So Johan asked the very first question. Johan, thanks for being first out the gate. Comment on the turnaround time for deregistration after receiving acknowledgement. Okay. Voluntary deregistration takes 4 months. So that's the voluntary deregistration. So if you've received an acknowledgement from CIPC, so they know that you want to deregister, I will ask Leslie to confirm um, on the rest of that. Okay. So definitely, I know that we need this on a more regular basis. So definitely, send through your questions. You'll see here, there was a question here that Teresa asked, what is the turnaround times for compensation and UIF registrations? And definitely, it depends on the respective departments. It's not, I want you to know that this is not CIPC's issue. It's the system administrations that is offered by CIPC. So it depends on the Department of Labor, on the compensation fund, what they bring to the table. All right. But they are trying to get it up and running as soon as possible. So, and we will then use these monthly sessions or whatever to then try and get that information to you, because I know that you guys feel that there's just not enough time. Okay. So here we go. Monique asked here in terms of representative appointment. I think it'll be a great idea if BizPortal has the option when you register a company or edit the director details to have the option to appoint a tax representative. Appointing at SARS is a headache, and you can do that, right? There is a link on the link to SARS on the BizPortal, and that will take you onto the SARS e-filing system. So I know that you guys want to be able to do this on BizPortal because of the e-filing system that takes so long. All right. I know it's a huge problem, and Teresa even said so. It's a big problem with tax practitioners at the moment. So we know that it is an issue at this stage. Right. When will BizPortal be fully active? Right. Will the old site be fully discontinued? Very frustrating to operate between two sites. I know that. And we realize that. But it will be working parallel to the new e-services that's going to be launched soon, and it won't ever be discontinued. So they'll just add on to it. All right. It's there for your convenience. So you try to do whatever you need to get to. Okay. The options that are there for your convenience. Why can't you appoint auditors on the registrar on CIPC's website or here? Because it's not mandatory to do that upon registration. Okay. But remember, companies have to appoint an auditor within certain days from the date of incorporation. So that has to happen. But it's not mandatory upon registration. So that's why it's not a functionality there yet. Okay. But you guys have to realize that the information that you guys are giving to CIPC today is really important. You guys can see my screen, eh? You did say yes.
Yes.
Good. Okay. So let's just go on to another one. Here we go. Suzanne said, how can I activate a company that was deregistered because the annual return was not submitted? All right. So the only option there is for reinstatement. So she says here what happens to the shares in the company if it cannot be activated again. You can activate it, Suzanne. You basically go and reinstate it. You get proof of the shares. You send that through with all the other normal docs that are um, applied for. All right. I know that a lot of people actually use the deactivation, the voluntary deactivation, deregistration option for companies that they've had no joy deregistering in the past. They then just don't submit the annual returns and they see if it gets deregistered like that. Right. So the deregistration of a company process, the turnaround time, there are certain documents here, but I think, Matlori, for that we will have a separate webinar because we can't do that just in a one liner. But Leslie, you did try very succinctly to explain the process here. So you need a signed letter indicating that the company has no assets or liabilities. You need to up-to-date tax clearance certificate from SARS, certified ID of the applicant. All the documents have then to be emailed to deregistrations at CIPC, and that's how that happens. Right. I know that the director changes are a problem there, and I think that's about up to where I got. Oh, here we go. Nicole said, I understand how the card payments will work for e-services, but how will this work for manual submissions? Remember, manual submissions are not a part of BizPortal services. So the old payment methods will remain on the manual applications, and the card ones are for BizPortal. Greta, you wanted to know, can you use your Visa card if you do not have a credit card? Yes, you can. Right? And the answer is yes there. Right. So I will merrily go on. I managed to get up to 60 questions, which is quite phenomenal, but I need to get even more questions in there. All right. So let's go and let's just get back to the screen here. Leslie, I don't know if we've got any more questions at this stage that you want to address maybe live. If you want to maybe choose one.
Yeah, there are some few
Did you
questions
guys
that I
see that a
can.
lot of your questions were actually answered by some of the slides? Things like, does a trust need to register? Does an NPO need to register? That was all summarized on those 10 areas for you. Okay.
Letty?
Yes, Leslie.
Yeah, there are some few questions that I can answer on spot. I don't know how we can go about that.
I
Though many
will.
questions are not really related to BizPortal services, but I can
Yeah,
still
I
answer
know.
many
Yes,
questions.
wonderful. Okay, I know that today's questions were meant to be focused on BizPortal, but I mean, shall I screen through from the top? You can see my screen, right?
Yes,
Let me go through from the top and you tell me which one you want to answer. Just give me a number and we stop there.
there's
Right.
question number 2. Incorporated company.
Yes.
Basically, client is referring to personal liability company. Currently, it's only manual. We don't know as yet when we'll incorporate that into our e-services or no, into our online system.
Okay. And that's only for PTYs at the moment.
It's only for P2I and non-profit companies
Okay. And
and
non-profit.
cooperatives as well. They are on It's online as well. So
Okay.
the public companies, the personal liability companies, the long standard non-profit companies are still done manually as we speak.
Okay.
Hopefully, in the near future, maybe we'll be able to incorporate that on our
Being
online systems.
still done manually. All right. I'm just typing in a little bit. We'll be expanding on this and we'll send this to you. All right. Okay. In
Question
here,
number
next one.
three.
Yeah.
Question number 3. I think I've already answered that.
You have. Yes. I'll copy and
Yes.
paste it in.
Uh, to remove themselves as an accounting officer, what they need to do is to write a letter and attach their certified ID copy and send the letter and the ID copy in PDF format through manual ck2@cipc.co.za.
Manual CK2
Yes,
at
because I
subsea.co.
believe the person
Yep.
is referring to close cooperation because accounting
Yes.
officers can only be appointed on on a CC, not PTY.
Absolutely. Yes. And but Richard's also asking, where can I remove myself from old CCs as well as accounting officer as well as PTY limiteds? So where can he remove himself as a
The process for PTY to remove an auditor, basically, I believe is an audit on a PTY.
yes?
I'll have to find out on the clarity on that.
Okay, I'm just going to put
Because
the
usually
Leslie.
when to do that, the directors of the company have to sign some documentations. That's a
Okay,
tricky part when it
perfect.
comes to companies. But with the close cooperation, I've outlined the process that they need to be followed there.
Okay, wonderful. Remember that Milani, you just asked a question, will the Q&As be added to your dashboards? It will be. It might not be added today or tomorrow because we're going to work through it. We'll give you all the answers, we'll document them and then post that. And then I'm going to use all of this to sift through and try and decide on the next webinar. We'll have the webinar and then have the questions and answers in between. All right. So the FAQs will definitely be available afterwards. Yes.
Then question number 5.
Just Renee just sent in one on the removal of the accounting officer. Renee says they sent the letter and the ID copy, and CIPC rejected the submission, saying a signed resolution from the members is required. Do they need to do that as well?
No, what they need to do, if ever the accounting officer is the one who have resigned, the letter is sufficient with an ID copy. But I believe that process, it happens that maybe it was a company that was updating the record to say, no, this accounting officer now have resigned, of which now they have to follow a process of CK2A, of which the members
Okay.
have to sign that. They have to complete
All right.
CK2A form. And then the members have to
Okay.
sign, the resolution must be attached, then and the ID copies to be sent to the same email address of manual CK2.
Okay. All right. We'll work with that, with those answers. All right. Renee says it was the accounting officer herself that sent the letter. All right.
Oh, I'll have to
Okay.
investigate it.
Okay. All right, but that's the whole point of today as well, so that we can get these little nigglies sorted out. I'm so thankful for everybody's questions, and I really wish I had a magic wand where we could simply answer all of it instantly. Let's do a couple more, and then I think we can.
Question number 5: can a
Yep.
BizPortal website be used for currently BizPortal? Yes. Initially, BizPortal only allows directors to register a company, but now even a third party can able to register a company on behalf of the directors.
Okay.
But when
So
it comes to filing of annual returns, applying for B certificate, it's only the director can do that, not the third party. But
okay,
with
so
the
annual
registration of the
return.
company, a third party can register on behalf of the directors via BizPortal.
Okay, so yes. Any whoops, and now I'm typing like my backside. Third party.
Can able to register a company on behalf of the directors using BizPortal.
Okay, I'm just gonna put the
Yeah, AR is only the directors who
yeah.
can able to do that via
Okay,
BizPortal.
cool. Right. Okay. You see, the problem that they are experiencing is once the auditor wants to resign, if a client has left, it requires the director's signature. And some
Yes.
clients leave, and the new auditors and the directors haven't removed them as auditors. So that is a problem. I know that you guys have been issuing practice notes on that lately, so we'll maybe go through that. I know I'm presenting a CIPC update on all your notices and everything. I think we're doing that in July somewhere, just to make sure that we're up to scratch with everything that CIPC has already issued. You know, all the practice notes and the notices for the last 9 months. So I think a lot of people are not aware of everything that's been issued. Okay.
Questions number 6.
Yep.
Why close cooperation is not available on BizPortal? BizPortal for now is only for the registration of new entities, filing of annual returns, and name change. So with close cooperation, we're no longer registering a new close cooperations.
Okay.
So that function, that's why it's not yet on BizPortal, but we are currently busy building a system wherein post cooperation and will be accommodated when it comes to, maybe the client is referring maybe through amendment of close cooperation. Very soon that will be incorporated on the new system. And I think even on
Okay.
BizPortal is going to be added. It's going to be one of the added function going forward.
Right, because they can only have existing CCs. So
Yes,
in the same answer as that, only can you access BizPortal for old companies that have already been
yes,
registered? So you
yes. If you
can.
want
It's
to,
not only for the new ones. Okay.
yeah, if client want to view any information, they can view on BizPortal. For
Great.
companies that were registered back in 1980 something, they can still do that.
Okay.
It's only
Do
with
we
the amendment, but filing of annual returns, they can still file using BizPortal, irrespective whether it's a CC
yeah.
or not.
By what date do all the CCs need to be converted by? Do you remember off heart?
It's not mandatory, it's voluntary. So there's no cutoff date when it comes to
Okay.
that.
Right, Vanessa, I know you had a question on that. But what date do we need to convert all closed corporations by?
Because many of our
So
clients are they are resisting to convert, because once you convert, the entity comes with a new registration number.
yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, so hence we are not really making it mandatory. Those who still want to keep the CCs, they can still do that.
Right. Okay. No date. Mandatory. Okay. Okay, let's do a couple more. Let's stop here. Let's do
Conversion number 20.
yep,
Which one?
conversions fine
Conversion. What is the process to convert a PTY to
to a
LLC?
limited
What's
liability company.
Oh, okay. Should I outline the entire process? They need to
No, no,
complete a
no,
form.
just you can talk about it. I'll put in here,
Okay,
we can
there's
put
a
the
form.
highlights in.
There's a form called CR 15.2 that they need to complete, and the relevant MOI for personal liability. They can use either the 15.1B MOI that's on our website, or they can use the customized MOI.
Okay.
Then together with the resolution by the shareholders, not by the directors. The resolution should be by the shareholders. SI. The cost for that is 250 rands. They'll retain the same registration number. The only thing that will change is the company type. From 07 is going to be 21 at the end. But the
Okay.
registration is going to remain the same, basically.
Okay. Perfect. Right. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. We've got, in terms of annual returns, I think the annual returns we're going to definitely have
Uh,
a separate one for.
there is number 19, wherein a client, thank you, Leslie. Who are those other department? I think it's a question related to UIF and
Yes, it is.
contribution funds.
Yes.
Yes, so they must make an inquiry through one of those departments, not
And
through
the departments you were speaking to would be Department of Labor,
Yes,
those ones,
same
yeah.
applies if they want to inquire about tax-related inquiries. They have to
Yeah.
contact SARS, not CIPC.
Yes,
What we do is
absolutely.
we just offer this. We just try to
Yes.
simplify way of doing things via BizPortal.
Yeah. That's the nice thing because BizPortal is the platform. And I
Yes,
think people forget that it is a platform and that not everything is now you know
yeah,
your
they just want to drop everything to CIPC. That's a
well,
good thing.
I wish
It
they
means
could
we are
because
doing fine. It's a good thing. It means we are doing fine.
yes, absolutely. But you know what? At least you guys are going to have a lot more information after today.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And then we just wanted to people are asking, Leslie or Shani, if you are willing to share your email addresses. I don't know if we want to share. We've got the
Mine is fine.
contact details.
Mine is fine. I mean, so it's for the public. I'm based at the call
Okay.
center. I do reply to many queries on a daily. Many clients they do have
Right.
my email address, so I won't mind sharing that.
Okay. Give it to me. I'll type it in. It's L
It's lmakuba@cipc.co.za.
Spell your surname. Lalm.
It's L for love, MA
Yes. Yeah.
KH
KH
UVHA
UVHA.
at CIPC.co.za.
Right, guys. Did you get that? You saw their email addresses there.
I saw a question
Mish-
related to the difference between BizPortal and e-services.
Yes, 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 yes. Carmen
Basically,
wanted to know.
yeah. BizPortal is more like a system. It's a system that was introduced to simplify the way of doing things compared to e-services. As Shanee explained that BizPortal is a paperless. There's no papers that need to be signed and sent back to the office. So with BizPortal, there are limited services that are currently available on BizPortal. And all those functions are paperless. No paperwork is required. Whereas
Yes,
e-services currently is our main website.
yes.
So most of the CIPC services and products are incorporated on e-services. So there are certain things that one cannot get on BizPortal that they can get on e-services.
Yeah.
So, but we still encourage those functions that have people can utilize those functions that are currently on BizPortal than to go
Yes.
to our e-services, because we are planning to discontinue that. It's going to be replaced by the new one very soon, somewhere this
Okay.
year.
All right. Good.
So we are trying to actually our system going forward. Most of the functions is going to be paperless. Even direct amendment and other stuff, they're going to be,
Okay.
yeah, to be paperless going forward. So BizPortal, it gives us that now, but there will be more added functions into BizPortal and also on the new services that is coming.
Okay. Thank you. Um, right, guys. In terms of the questions, remember that the Q&A document will be filled in with answers. So I know it's frustrating because you guys haven't received answers to all your questions. But I think it's important that you realize that the value that you'll get will not only be today, it's going to come in future. Right. Today we did the Biz Portal and we got a whole lot of questions. So I think the information that was shared today will be much, much more valuable. Right. So I think if you have any more urgent questions, you can just send them through. I'll still be online for a while. Right. Thank you to everybody saying thank you. I trust that you had some value from the webinar today. I know that the documents and the slides and the summaries that you received on the slides are really worth its weight in gold. So I want to say thank you to Shanee and her team for managing all the slides and giving us that information. Right. I'm really here to make sure that we get this done in future so that we can have this avenue. Right. The answers I know are going to assist you going forward. And once we've got it on the questions on the Q&A summary, I'd like to even take it further and do it into categories so that I give you a document that you can really use in future. Okay. So I think if you thought that today was informative, wait until our next one because it's going to be a lot more focused. Today was just an overview of BizPortal, and I think we got flooded with all sorts of other questions that's not just on BizPortal. As you saw, most of the questions on BizPortal were actually answered by Shanee's presentation. All right. So thank you very much. The slides, those of you that still have not got the slides, at the top where it says shared files, click there where it says shared files and you can download the slides from here. You can also get it from your profile on the SA Academy, SA Accounting Academy website. Right, under your profile. Go to your events, click on the name, and then under links and resources, you'll find everything. The webinar recording for today will also be made available to you. So you can also go through And then obviously the value is not only just coming from the presentation, but also from this massive Q&A document that you will be receiving afterwards. And then check your inboxes, guys. You need to watch your inboxes for our future sessions that we'll be having. Right. I think that's a definite one. Cindy Lee, I know you said that you don't your slides don't want to save. Maybe try going to your profile on SAAA. Right. Valerie says, I just saw something very quickly on annual returns. Leslie, if you want to help me with this one. It says, is there a glitch where the option of AFS or financial accountability statement does not come up on the AR page? For the IXBRL submission, I have to go to a separate tab to lodge. Is that still an issue? I think that's on e-services, that's not on BizPortal. Because remember, I don't think that the annual returns will be done by the directors of the companies. Most of us will lodge them on behalf of our clients. So those are then done on the e-services side instead of
Yeah,
on the
true.
annual returns. Yeah.
True. With the upload of financials, we are having a system glitch when it comes to
Okay.
certain entities. So it's an issue that our CT is working on that. We came across queries with some particular
Mm,
companies wherein they are unable to do that. So with the regarding the accountability supplement, they do get affected once the DHA system is down. So they can, maybe the client tried to do that by the time Department of Home Affairs system was down. So if it's down, then we get affected as well. So it means there are some services wherein clients cannot able to complete the applications if DHA is down. Of which
okay.
annual returns, if a client is completing accountability supplement, obviously they'll be affected. Then, but however, with the uploading of financials, we do have some system glitch when it comes to that.
Okay.
But client can send me an email regarding that. I'll escalate further to ensure that the matter is being attended.
Okay. All right. Great. I think it's we'll do all of that. A lot of people are asking where can we get the questions and answers? Remember that will be uploaded to your profiles. The document is not complete yet. I don't have all the questions, and remember that we also have questions coming from the YouTube live streaming. I'm waiting for those questions to be sent to me so that I can then put them on as well. So there you can think there's a lot of effort going to go into the Q&As, making sure that we organize them properly, making sure there's no duplication, but still making sure that all the questions are answered. Right. So you definitely will be getting that. Look forward to the future ones. I think we've already identified. I think we can mention a couple of them, and we'll make sure that the education department is online from CIPC for all of these webinars. Shanee will organize that for us, and she will then liaise with the department heads specifically for deregistration, so that we've got those managers online. And we've got, I think, Leslie, you would be an asset on all of those webinars for us so that we can then answer the relevant questions. All right. But I
Lettie,
think, thank you. Yes, Leslie.
can I come in there just
Of course.
to add, yes, just to perhaps elaborate a little bit some of the questions. Yes, thank you. Leslie has done a great job. However, we will, I think, going forward, need to elaborate, as you correctly said. Quite a number of questions were not more on this portal, those areas to really deal with. But for me, I want to emphasize a point that the commissioner of CIPC always raised when he's with us as managers. I'm heading the corporate education. He always says CIPC, we should be a continuous improvement. And
Yes.
that by that statement, that would mean that most of the questions where there is most professionals indicated a lack of capability, if I can put it that way, in terms of how can we enlarge the system, the BizPortal, to accommodate some
Yes.
of the areas. And I think this engagement is so good that, especially your approach in terms of it's now documented, we as CIPC will take it forward to ensure this will use it as an improvement of information that we can improve on continuously, so on the existing platform, to ensure that all those issues are addressed. For instance, the issue of foreign nationals, those kind of matters that it's
Yes.
not like those limitations that are current on the Peace Portal. It's
Yes.
that's a done deal. It's a continuous process. We will take this input and make sure that it's value adding to our customers. And as well as, perhaps, as you correctly said, in our next webinar, maybe we will be guided by this very same document to ensure
Yes.
that we focus on those key areas that are problematic. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Silas.
you very much. Thank you, Silas, for that valuable input as well. You know what, guys, you have no idea how committed they are to improving the whole process, and you don't get this from any regulator. So I
Yes.
want to take the time to say thank you very much to Silas, and Alma, and Shanee, and Leslie, everybody there. And going forward, we will be using these questions. That's why we've got them. We're going to give them the answers anyway, but we're going to use this for future webinars to say, okay, what did we receive on deregistrations? And I'm going to take all of that and make one document for deregistrations. And we will maybe send that to everybody beforehand so that they've got it. And then we say, okay, we're going to focus on these areas, and that will guide us as to what we need to include in that. I want to call them power hours, because that's what it is. It's really a jam-packed session with information on specific topics. So absolutely. All right.
That is
There's the YouTube channel. Remember, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll see it coming up now. You can subscribe for that. But yeah, I think the feedback that we get, Leslie is obviously, he's the guy from the call center. He's like I think a Jedi master in my eyes, because he's got all of these answers. And once we've now got a document to work with. So guys, please be patient. I apologize for the fact that we are not able to answer every single question now, but I think that it's been a good experience for everybody. I've gotten good feedback. I know that we've had some issues. Peter, there will be no assessment available for this because it's a free webinar. So we don't get a free bonus hour for today. We will look at the future webinars. I don't think all the future webinars, we will communicate those to you, the details, the costs, and everything like that. All right. Obviously, our point of call, my mission in life, is just to make sure that you remain educated, up to date, and that you have all the necessary tools to have the best ability to provide a proper service to your clients. Right. We've got all of your email addresses. So I did get a notification to say, can we please let you know that the document is available via email? I will ask SAAA if we can get the completed Q&A document not only uploaded to your profiles, but also a notification to you to be sent out to say the Q&A document is done. Here it is, and we attach it to the email. All right. So we will
Let
be,
me,
yes,
can I just, sorry for that, interrupt you. I forgot a very important aspect that I think we need to share with the members.
no problem.
Commissioner of, the Commissioner of CIPC Advocate Rory Fowler initiated a very value-adding program called Learn IBs, and I would like to encourage, participants to go to our website and go through that. It's quite very empowering in terms of, one would be understanding, being in a position to understand, your duties as a director of a company and all those matters. We have recently appointed a service provider to work on improvements and making sure that whatever challenges that we experience are being attended to. So I therefore encourage people to go to our website and go into that platform. It's quite value adding. Please, I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Yes, there's obviously so much more that we can do in terms of education and everything. So But I want to take this opportunity to really say thank you to everybody who logged on today and who listened to the presentation. I hope that you got value from it. I think the slides are very comprehensive and that you can definitely use those in future. Those 10 areas that were summarized to you for your use with all the information, and as well as the Q&A document, which we are all looking forward to. All right. So if you have any more questions, I'll still be silently in the wings now, but I want to say thank you to Silas and his team, to Shanee, to Leslie. Thank you very much for all your input today. And everybody listening in the wings, Alma, I know you are also listening today, who's also in CIPC's education department. So thank you to all of you. And thank you to all the delegates for today. Right. I think we can only build, we can definitely build onto this on a monthly basis. Even if we have CIPC participation like we have today on a quarterly basis, that's brilliant. But I do think there's a need for us to maybe have an in-between session. I'll, give me some time. I'll get my brilliance polished up and I will get it. Yes. I think Musa, yes, the answer is yes. You can get the answers as an email. I'll make sure that you do that. Okay. Jackie, you get a copy of the webinar from your links under your links and resources on your SAAA profile. Remember, you've got the webinar recording. You'll have the webinar recording as well as all the documents. All right. Or the one source document. Great. Okay, and then everybody has the slides. You'll have your little BizPortal info with links document. And then the only thing you'll be waiting for will be the Q&A document. Right. I'm not going to make any promises as to when you're going to receive that because you can imagine there's a huge amount of work that Leslie and I are going to put into that document. Right. But we will be using it for all future sessions. Thank you for the applause, Susan. Thank you to everybody saying thank you. Remember, when you log out, there is a little survey that you can just quickly do to just let us know how it was for you. So thank you very much. And I think I'm going to just allow for another couple of questions. I just want to don't want to make I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So thank you very much, guys. I'm going to mute myself. But for the rest of you that are logging off, thank you very much, guys. Stay safe, stay warm, stay blessed, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you and goodbye.
And thank you to you.
My pleasure, guys.